Welcome to Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. We are located at the Utah Motorsport campus, offering a full range of services for race car enthusiasts, including storage, maintenance, and driver coaching. Our focus is on fostering an inclusive and supportive racing community. Sim racing is a great way for our drivers to continue to practice during the on and off season. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the race.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third race of the 7th season of the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. The competitors today are driving at a track that needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. They're racing at Laguna Seca Raceway, one of the most iconic racetracks in all of American motorsports. They're just doing their formation right now for the sprint race. Now, the format has changed a lot in this current season of the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. The way it happens now is there is a 15-minute sprint shootout that dictates the starting order for a 45-minute main event. But that starting order is reversed based on your finishing results in the sprints. We just want to make sure we make this racing as spicy as humanly possible, and that is the way that we are doing it. The qualifying for the 15-minute sprint was done in the 1-hour practice that just concluded. So it's your best time in the 1-hour practice dictates your starting order for the sprint race, and the finishing order for the sprint race dictates the reverse grid of the main event. And all that is done to just make everything exciting for us at home that are watching this right now. So I'm very excited to watch this as they're coming around turn 6 right now behind the pace car. John Wilson qualified on pole position, and John does not, this is his first time competing in this series. He raced once at Long Beach, and he won that race, and he out-qualified Jack Liston by 0.2 of a second, which is massive because Jack Liston is wicked fast. They are going to lock out the front row. Q3 was Bryson. He qualified with a 121.8, and in P4 is Bruce. P5 is Michael Shumway. P6, Shane. And let's see. Oh, you know what? There's actually a gap right now. As I'm looking, I don't see Michael Shumway in the starting order, so I don't know if he's having connectivity issues, but the pace car is in as the drivers all round the sharp 90-degree turn 11 on to the long straightaway down towards the start-finish line. Green flag is flying, and we are going racing at Laguna Seca. John gets a good jump. Jack is going to go along the outside. Is he going to try to be daring into turn 1? No, he is not. Ooh, John takes a wide line into turn 1. We're 2 wide. We're 3 wide, going through the Andretti hairpin that I call turn 1, but in reality, it's turn 2. Everybody looks like they're making it through the first series of corners. John out in front, and Bryson got in front of Jack Liston. Ooh, something happened to the back. That looks like that's Paulo and Shane came together. What happened there? It looks like Paulo was washing wide. Shane just barely got into his rear end, and that was coming around the Andretti hairpin. Shane is going to continue, and Paulo is going to end up tagging the wall. But you can see there the damage reset. So one of the other major changes that happened in this current season of the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League is that the damage is turned off. So normally in iRacing, what you see a lot of times is when there's a car that hits a wall and has to go back to pit lane, has to make repairs, and then it can join the track. Now, that doesn't happen. The damage just is not a factor. But in order to still make sure that order is maintained, we have a penalty system. So you accrue penalty points. You usually get a 4x for making contact with another driver, and you get a 1x for going off track. And if you accumulate 17, then you are going to have a drive-through penalty. And Shane is trying to drive through right now on George, coming down the corkscrew for the first time, heading towards, what is that? What's after the corkscrew? Turn 9. Yes. Oh, and George is going to have the inside line, and they're side by side. Oh, this is amazing. Side by side, going into that heavy, heavy braking zone into turn 11. Shane is going to have the inside line on George and is going to take the lead. Look at all these drivers all lined astern. The draft is significant in these cars. This is a fixed setup race, and what that means is that everybody that's out there in a Porsche or anyone that's out there in a Lamborghini, all the setups are identical. On board right now with Jack Liston, who is behind Bryson Liu. Bryson Liu got around him in the first lap to take sole possession of second place, and Jack Liston is following behind Bryson, trying to find an opportunity to make his way around. And as this is happening, John Wilson is starting to put a gap on the entire field. He has, let's see, what kind of interval is he? He's got a 1.1 second gap back to Jack Liston. And there is functionally no gap between Jack Liston and Andrew Malin, and I'm sorry, Jack Liston and Bryson Liu right now. That is a really, really exciting race to watch. Derek, he's new to the Sim Racing League. He's got an awesome livery right there. It's the Flying Lion livery is what it says on the side. Really cool looking design with that car. And Derek is currently sitting in P8. Ooh! And we just watched Bruce go off. Bruce went off ahead of him. That's going to promote Derek up to P7. Bruce is... stay off the wall, Bruce. Nope, that's not how to do it. Bruce is in the student driver livery. I promise you, he is not a student driver. He is very competent. And he is doing his best impersonation right now of a rallycross event at Laguna Seca. Ollie has switched over from the Ferrari. He in the past always driven a Ferrari... Ferrari 296 GT3 car that had a sweet Alpine livery. He switched over to the BMW M4 GT3 car. That thing is a rocket ship in a straight line, and he's getting pressure right now from Paolo as they go through the Andretti hairpin, and Paolo is getting pressure from Shane in the AO Motorsport Rexy livery. Oh, Paolo's all over Ollie right now. Is Paolo going to try to make a dive? No, he's not going to make a dive down into turn 4, but you can pass going into turn 5, which is the section of track that they're coming up to right now. And Paulo thinks better of it. Ooh, look how close he is to Ollie. That's a great camera angle there as they head towards the very fast turn 6. There, little compression at the apex there, and they're going to head up the hill towards the famous corkscrew at Laguna Seca, arguably one of the most famous corners in all of motorsports. You're not gonna be able to do it justice here watching it live. You have to be in a car to understand the elevation change that happens when you're going down the corkscrew. It's 60 feet from the top to the bottom. That is massive. Jack Liston seems... Oh, we're going to a battle. All right. Shane is going to poke his way into that battle. He's going to make his way around Paulo, and now he is trying to make inroads on Ollie. He's going to dive down to the inside. Is he going to be able to make a move in the Andretti hairpin? Ollie looks like he is going defensive. Yes, he is. Shane is going to maybe try a switchback. No, he's not. And let's see there. I'm sorry. I've been saying Shane. It's Spencer. Spencer's in the Taco Bell livery. Shane is in the AO Motorsports livery. And Shane is putting a move on Paolo. But Spencer, in the Taco Bell livery, has already put his move on Paolo and is starting to make inroads towards Ollie. So really, really exciting stuff in the mid-pack already with just over 5 minutes left in this race. And Kelly has had an incident. What happened here with Kelly? Kelly just lost the rear end going around turn 4. Very, very easy to do. He was good level of driving there to keep it out of the wall. It's very easy to hit that wall going really quick. So Kelly's able to continue. Kelly usually has the Martini and Rossi livery, which I love. It's one of my favorites on track. He went for the matte gray finish today. Up front, Jack Liston is still trying to make his way around Bryson Liu. Two of the fastest drivers that we have in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League are nose to tail right now, trying to take P2 from one another. And while that's happening, again, John Wilson, quiet race right now. He is just walking away. He's stretched his lead out to 1.8 seconds. And we have, we're about 1/3 distance in this race. And John looks very much in control right now. He's being consistent. The car looks quiet. You don't see a lot of twitching under braking. You don't see a lot of twitching as he's exiting the corner. He just looks clean. He's hitting his marks. Oh, no. Driver off course. Oh, that's Jack. Oh, no. Oh, Jack, what happened there? Looks like he dropped his left rear tire as he was entering turn 4, and that was just enough to unsettle him. And now he's going to drop all the way back down to 5th position, and that promotes Andrew Malin and Carter into 3rd and 4th place. So, as I was saying earlier, there is a reverse grid for the final. So, if the final were to start right now at these results, John Wilson and Bryson Liu would be starting in the back of the pack. You figure, why would you even try to race hard during the sprint if you're just going to get penalized in the main event? And the reason is because you get points for the sprints. There's 30 points up for grabs. So it is absolutely worth it to take what you can in the sprint and then try to make your way through the field in the main event. The main event's 45 minutes long, so that's more than enough time to get the job done. We've seen drivers go from last to first, and hopefully we see it here again. On board, let's see, we're following Logan, Mike, and Derek. Derek is new to the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. Derek, thank you for joining us, and we're honored to have you. All 3 of those drivers are very evenly matched right now on track. And Mike, let's see. Yeah, Logan looks like he's all over. Oh, you know what? I'm looking right now. Michael's actually he's a lap down. So he is a lap. Is he a lap down? So that's weird. Why is he a lap down so quickly? He must have started from the pits. And also I'm noticing as well, Michael Shumway, who had qualified in P5, is up to, I think, 13th. No, where is he? No, he's 13th physically on track, but he's in last place right now. So I'm not sure what happened with him. He didn't take the green flag. So I don't know if it was a connectivity issue or something like that, but Michael is a very quick driver. And he is well in the back of the pack, which means he's not going to get a lot of points for the sprint. But silver lining to that is he is going to start way up front for the main event. And he's a driver who, on any given day, on any given racetrack, is capable of putting in a podium performance. So, you know, he might find himself in a very, very good position at the start of this race. 7 minutes and 55 seconds left to go on board right now with Jack Liston. Jack Liston is trying to climb his way back up the field, trying to get around Miller. Miller's another incredibly quick driver. Jack qualified on the front row, dropped down to P3, and then just had an off-track excursion last lap, and now he's trying to find his way back, claw whatever points he can out of the sprint race. And he has his handfuls right now with Miller. Miller is a wicked fast driver. He is capable of putting in the fastest lap at any racetrack. But right now, fastest lap goes to John Wilson. No big surprise there. John is clinical in the way that he is walking away from this field. Further down the field right now, what we're seeing right now is an amazing battle. This is a 5-way battle right now for... let's see, who's up front? That's for 9th position. Logan is absolutely getting stalked by Ollie. Oh, Carter's dropping downfield. Oh, what happened to Carter? Oh, Carter's another quick driver. Ooh, got a lot of curb going into 6. So at the apex of turn 6, there is a red curb, a big sausage curb that is massive. It is an absolute no-go zone. It's a really quick corner. You have to take advantage of the camber on the inside of that corner. But if you get just a little bit too close to that red curb and you clip it, you are going to unsettle the car and you are going to go off track, and that's exactly what we saw. Derek putting in a good showing right now. He's in P6. That's spectacular. He's made his way. Let's see. He's going to try... I can't see how far he is from Miller up front. He's got a bit of a gap. So he's got a bit of a gap to go to Miller. He's got about 4.5 seconds to Miller. Oh, okay. Something major just happened in the corkscrew. Let's go back and see what happened there. This was that 5-way battle that was cooking up. George, ooh, that's the inside of the corkscrew. Oh, he darts right across the track. He's not going to do any damage to anyone, which Carter is very, very happy about. Oh, what's happening there? Bruce got into Shane. And this is, where's this on track? There we go. So we're in the corkscrew, and Paulo dives down to the inside and just barely taps Spencer. Spencer's going to get turned around at the top of the corkscrew. That's going to stack both of those drivers up into Shane, and then Shane is going to get absolutely routed by Bruce. So that is the epitome of a chain reaction. Bruce is going to be able to make his way through. I think Shane is the big loser from that exchange. He's going to get turned around. And let's see, George is already back up and running. Oh, no, that's a replay. That's him cutting straight across. Easy to do. It's very, very easy to do going into the corkscrew. That braking zone into the corkscrew is at the crest of a hill. And if you get it wrong by maybe a meter, that's enough to do exactly what George just did and spear all the way across into the tires. He's going to be very thankful that the damage is turned off in this race. Good battle right now between Logan and Ollie for P8. Ollie is all over the back of Logan. Logan's brave on the brakes going into the Andretti hairpin. And is Ollie going to try a switchback? Nope, he's not. And Logan gets a good exit out of the corner. So that will relieve just a little bit of pressure. Not really a good passing zone coming into turn 3. Turn 4, maybe a possibility. But turn 5, which is this next corner coming here. You can make a lunge on the inside going into the corner. You can get a run on the outside going out of the corner. See if Ollie takes a little look down the inside and thinks better of it. I don't think he's quite close enough. Can't really take a stab down into turn 6. Some drivers do try. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not the ideal passing zone. Laguna Seca is a really interesting track because there are a lot of areas where you can kind of make a pass. You can if you're brave, but there aren't a lot of areas that are no-brainers. You know, this isn't the widest track in the world. You know, it's very, very complicated, and a lot of the corners you can go offline, but it's just not as quick. You're at a severe disadvantage. The Andretti hairpin is an exception to that, absolutely. But, you know, some of the corners, if you're trying to run it around the outside, you're really, really limited for grip compared to the people that have the inside line. So, you know, there's a lot of good racing that happens at this racetrack, but nothing comes easy. You can get a good run on someone coming here out of turn 11, which we're seeing right now. You get a good exit out of 11. You have a nice long straightaway to try to get something done. And then the other great passing zone is the Andretti hairpin. And we're seeing Carter stalking George. Carter's going to take a wider line into the Andretti hairpin, the big, long double apex. And George is, George does a great job. You know, these drivers are so evenly matched. When you look at the qualifying, you see how tight the entire cluster is. And in iRacing, Laguna Seca is one of the most popular racetracks. Most of these drivers know the racetrack exceedingly well. And so you get to see what their true pace is at a track like this, because you don't have that difference in someone that maybe doesn't know the track that well or hasn't put in the time practicing. Most people that are committed to iRacing have put a lot of laps in around Laguna Seca. And when you look at the qualifying times, you have the top 3 that were all within 0.2 of a second. And then Bruce qualified in P4 with a 1:22.4. And then P5, 1:22.5. P6, 1:22.5. P7, 1:22.5. P8, 1:22.5. It was so tightly matched in qualifying, and it's a 1-hour practice session. That's where the qualifying times come from, so you really get to get a good indication of their pace. And this is one of the most evenly matched racetracks that you're going to see from a driver time standpoint. And the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League is also just a very evenly matched racing series. Ollie down the inside. He's making a pass on Logan right there. What happened there? That was great. Did Logan just run wide? Looks like Logan might have outbraked himself a little bit. Ollie's going to dive to the inside. Yeah, Logan's trying to make... Ooh. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there. He might have had a little bit of washout with the front tires. You know, the tire wear is not really a major factor, particularly at a racetrack like this, where there isn't a massive amount of tire degradation, but it does happen. It absolutely happens. You can absolutely, without question, overcook these tires. And there are no pit stops in the sprint race. So, if you were pushing them a little bit hard at the beginning, you might be paying for it right now with just under 3 minutes left in the sprint race that is going to set the qualifying grid for the main event that is 45 minutes long. And John Wilson, flag to flag, almost flag, 2 minutes, 45 seconds left. We're probably going to get 2 more laps of racing here, has been in control decisively. He has put a 4.1 second gap between himself and Bryson Liu, which is beyond impressive. Anybody that knows Bryson Liu knows how fast he is, whether it's in the Sim Racing League or whether it's in a Super Trofeo, a championship that he's won, or whether it's as a driver coach. It doesn't matter. Bryson Liu is fast by any standard. And John Wilson is pulling a gap on Bryson Liu. This is going to be an amazing, amazing final with those two starting in the back of the field with the reverse grid. But we're not done racing in the sprint race yet. Spencer is getting pressure from George and from Carter, and we will have to see if anyone can make a move in the closing stages of the races. George is going to take a little bit of a dive down the inside, and that doesn't really compromise his exit. So he's still right on the back of Spencer's Taco Bell liveried Porsche 992.2 GT3 R. That is quite a mouthful. Oop. And George runs just a little bit wide. Doesn't affect his line at all as he dives down into turn 5 and makes the long run up the hill to turn 6. That turns into the longer run up the hill to the corkscrew. And there's John Wilson, 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go. He's just coming around the Andretti hairpin. So this might be the white flag lap. If not, we're going to get the white flag the next time by. And he is absolutely screaming. I mean, look at the lap times that are up on the board. He has the fastest lap by 0.4 of a second against Bryson Liu, one of the more talented drivers that you're going to find anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. So John is putting on a clinic right now. Really clean race. He's got clean air in front of him. White flag flies. So 1 lap of racing left. 1 lap for George to dive on Spencer, which he's going to get done. Oh, he's going to do it into the Andretti hairpin. He is not going to wait around for a passing opportunity. And Carter's going to make a dive through too. Oh, Spencer found his way on the outside of the Andretti hairpin. George stuffed his nose in there. Carter followed him through. So now Spencer finds himself back down in P13. And George getting it done all the way up into P11. Right now we have, Mike and Derek. They're battling it out for P6. Derek new to the league. And there it is. That is John Wilson miles ahead, crossing the finish line, giving some celebratory flicks of the light switch. So he is going to start in the absolute back of the pack, but we're not done yet. Mike and Derek are going to scrap it out all the way to the bitter end, coming through turn 11, all the way down the straightaway. Mike's flashing his lights, trying to do anything he can to get around Derek. It's not going to happen. Across the start-finish line in P6 and P7. George and Carter having a little bit of a scrap, coming onto the main straightaway. And I don't think Carter's going to be able to get a run on George. He's going to make it close, but not close enough. So as the drivers cross the start-finish line, we start to get ready for the 45-minute main event. There's Kelly crossing the start-finish line in P15, and P16 is Bruce. And Michael Shumway, who he started from the pits. I don't know what the situation is, but he is in P17. So he is going to be sitting pretty for the final. If you're going to have a bad race, the sprint race is the one to do it in, because you will now have 45 minutes to try to keep everybody behind you. There's a 17-driver field in tonight's race. It's one of the bigger fields that we've had so far in Season 7 of the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. And, it's great to see the participation continue to grow in this series. We see new faces. Derek is a new face. We have, John, who's new to this Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. And there's a ton of other people that kind of race casually. And what they're starting to do is we're seeing them more often. We're seeing some more Lincoln Larsons in there. We're seeing, some more, trying to think who else. Ayrton's made a couple of appearances as well. Ayrton Littell, he's a great guy. So the drivers are pulling off right now for the formation lap for the 45-minute main event. As I said, the results of the sprint race are turned on their head, and that establishes a starting order for the main 45-minute race, which means Michael Shumway qualifies in P1. Bruce is going to be rounding out that front row. Kelly is in P3. Shane in P4. Spencer in P5. Carter in P6. George in P7. Paulo in P8. Logan in P9. Ollie in 10th. Mike in 11th. Derek, new to the league, in 12th. Miller in 13th. Jack in 14th. Andrew Malin in 15th. And then rounding out the back of the field, Bryson Liu in P16 and John Wilson at the back of the field, who just demolished everybody in the sprint race. So we know that John Wilson is fast, but how quickly will he be able to make his way through the field? Because there is a difference between having pace and having racecraft. We saw that John had racecraft at the streets of Long Beach, and he is going to have to put every single morsel of that racecraft on display right now at the start of this race. Another thing that does absolutely happen in these races is first lap incidents. It's just a thing. You have the entire field bunched together. Everyone's trying to make up places, and when that happens, there's people that lose out and there's people that benefit massively. So if there's a dust up, then we will have to see who is able to take advantage of it. And let's see here. We are coming around turn 10. We're going to take the hard 90-degree left-hand turn. Pace car is in, and Shane in the... Oh, no, I think Shane dropped. I don't see Shane in his formation. Oh, no. So Shane's going to have to start from pit lane. Yep, you can see him in pit lane right there in the AO Motorsports. Oh, but we are green flag racing. Paulo diving to the outside in the red Ferrari. Oh, let's see. Paulo and is that Carter came together? Woo! And everybody lives to see turn one. Michael Shumway, clean getaway. Bruce following through. Oh, it's getting real racy. Real racy. Paulo is real racy in the beginning stages of this race. He has made a number of passes already in the first corner of the race. Bruce diving through right here. Bruce is, let's see, he's in P2. Paulo's in P3. Then there's a whole gaggle of people behind. It looks like the top three are starting to spread out a little bit. Michael Shumway is starting to pull a gap already. He's got four or five car lengths to Bruce as they head up towards turn 6. And then there's that big gaggle behind Carter leading the way for that back group. He's starting to pull a gap on Kelly. And that Spencer going to make a move? Nope. Carter's going to go... No, Kelly's going to go defensive on Spencer going into the corkscrew for the first time. These tires are not up to temperature, by the way. It does take a lap or two to get the tires up to temperature. So this raciness that you're seeing on track is happening on cold tires. So this is dicier than it looks. I promise you that. They're just coming around for the completion of the first lap of the third race of the 7th season of the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. And Michael Shumway has 0.7 of a second on the rest of the field. Great battles happening all up and down the field. Spencer on Kelly, and then that whole gaggle of 4 different cars behind them. That's one of the best things about the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League is, yes, there is absolutely a disparity in talent between the best drivers, the drivers that are normally at the back of the field, but everybody has a dance partner. Everyone in this series is very evenly matched with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other drivers. And that's one of the things that creates such exciting action like this. As Miller goes through on Logan. That was a great move for Miller. Miller's got a ton of pace. And he's driving a very, very quick car. There's the number of cars represented in this race. These are all GT3 cars. Driver off. Who was that? Oh, no. It looks like Bryson. Bryson and Mike Conway came together. Oh, Mike turns Bryson. Ah. Ooh, what a bummer. Bryson, that was into turn 6. Yeah, that was a fairly spirited maneuver. But Bryson's going to be able to continue. But he is down in, let's see, where is he finding himself? Ollie also dropping back through the pack. So a lot of action early in the first 3.5 minutes of this race here at Laguna Seca, one of the coolest racetracks, one of the most known racetracks, one of the most iconic racetracks in American motorsports. Mike and Derek dusting it up a little bit. Ooh, big stab down the inside from Shane. Well done, Shane. Is he going to be able to keep the momentum up to retain that position coming down the straightaway? Yes, it looks like he is. That was a very, very good move from Shane. Well done, Shane. And Ollie, is Ollie going to dive down the inside? No, he's not. No, don't do it, Ollie. All right, they're all going single file through the Andretti hairpin. And this has already been really, really exciting stuff. Miller might have just helped Carter off track just a smidge. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Looks like Miller is going to give Kelly just a little bit of a bumpsy-wumpsy, just barely enough to have him run just a little bit wide. And once he's in the dusty stuff, the position is Miller's. That may warrant a penalty. Now, there aren't penalties awarded for driving, aggressive driving during the race. It's all done by committee after the fact. It's one of the things I love about the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League is that afterwards, all the drivers come together, they have some laughs, they look at replays, but they do discuss driving incidents and see if anything does warrant a penalty. And, you know, who's making a dive down the inside right here? That is Jack on Miller. Oh, Jack making moves. Jack, who qualified in P2, is already all the way up to P6, so he's having a good race. He's one of the fastest drivers in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. Week after week, he is consistently the fastest or the second fastest. And speaking of second fastest right now, John Wilson is, let's see, he's fighting his way through the field. He started at the absolute back of the pack and is already up to P8, and he is absolutely screaming. I think we can officially answer that question of, does John Wilson have racecraft? There's no way to pass, 9 people in 4.5 minutes of racing unless you know how to get around people quickly, and that's what we're seeing from John Wilson. John Wilson, incredibly talented driver. Look at all these drivers, nose to tail. So a lot of Porsches you'll see in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. They're very, very quick cars in iRacing. They're very well balanced. Generally speaking, they're maybe not the absolute quickest car, but it's a car that's great to extract every single ounce of performance out of it. Sometimes, if you talk to the drivers, a lot of them will say that the Lamborghinis are probably the quickest car on pure pace, but they're a lot to handle. So you have to dance on a knife's edge the entire time to get those, speeds out of the Lamborghinis. And one little slip up, you are going to pay for it desperately. We're on board right now with Shane Wilcox. Shane is right behind Andrew Malin. Andrew Malin is right behind Logan Whatcott. We are seeing battles everywhere. Paolo just making it through on Bruce. I'll see if Bruce... Look at that. Paolo hanging out on the inside. Is going to... Ooh! Bruce tries for a switch back now, but Paolo was way too far ahead for that. So Paolo is going to find his way into second position, and he is going to be 2.1 seconds behind Michael Shumway. So Michael Shumway is having an ideal main race so far with 38 minutes and 55 seconds left. Unlike his sprint race where he started from pit lane, and I think he finished a full lap down. So, again, no points in the sprint. Michael's not going to be happy with that, but, he's going to start. I mean, he did start at the front of the field, and he's able to maintain that gap, which is huge because it's very rare to be able to get around someone. And, what happened here? Racing incident. Yep, Spencer off track. Spencer is going to get in the way of Miller. and not going to check Miller up that much, so just one driver involved, just a quick little off-track excursion. He's able to continue. Is Miller going to be able to put a move on him as they go through the corkscrew? No, Miller is not, and just behind you can see John Wilson joining the party. John Wilson, last lap, also set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:21.6. So when is John Wilson going to pull the trigger and make his way around? Who's he have next? He has Miller right now. We're on board with Miller. He's got John behind, all in his windows. He's got Spencer ahead. And Miller's taking a dive down the inside into the Andretti hairpin. Spencer's going to make his way around the outside. He washes a little bit wide. They are still going to go side by side, going towards turn number 4. This is awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And that battle that I love to watch is just going to let John into the fight. John is going to squirt his way through on Miller and take over P7 from him. And is John going to be able to make light work of Spencer? We are seeing a clinic right now from John Wilson. What a talented driver. This is great stuff. John's already starting to pull the gap right here. You can see going through turn 6. This is such a fun camera angle. The sparks are flying up. Miller is now... see if he can join the party again. You know, if John and Spencer have a scrap, that is going to... Whoa! Wow. Oh, well done, John Wilson. No contact right there. Taking advantage of Spencer going just a little bit wide on his entry into the top part of the corkscrew. Look at John up and over the curb, being decisive, being crisp in his passing, and gives Spencer just barely enough room. Oh, great stuff from John Wilson. What a talented driver that guy is. Really, really good stuff so far. John Wilson's next target is going to be Jack Liston. And Jack right now has a front row seat to the battle between Carter and Bruce. Really exciting stuff happening all up and down the track. We're not even 10 minutes into the main race. We've already seen a lot of action. This is amazing, amazing racing. And Michael Shumway all the way up front is maintaining a 1.5-second lead. So I think Michael's actually in a very, very good position to come away with a significant points haul. But Miller is, let's see, Miller and Spencer are John behind. Oh, boy. Okay, Spencer. All right, take it easy, bud. There we go. Spencer has quite a bit of a moment. That's going to let Miller through. That's going to let John through, promoting them up one more position as John makes his ascension towards the front of the pack. And is Bryson going to be able to make a move on Spencer as well? So we have Bryson, Spencer, and Andrew all nose to tail, all going towards turn 6. And, ooh, are they going to make a pass? Who's going to make a move going up towards the corkscrew? Heading under the Bubba Burger Bridge. Diving to the right, hard on the brakes at the crest, getting it turned in and up and over the crest, back on the throttle, and they're not going to go all the way out to the right side of the track. They are not. Bryson is going to take a stab down the inside, and is he going to try to switch Spencer back? Ooh, oh, wow. Bryson gets a whole bunch of those red, massive, absolutely violent curbs, and that sends him up and over. He's able to continue. He's going to be thanking his stars that the damage is turned off right now. And Bryson is going to be back into the clutches of Shane in the AO Racing livery of Rexy. What's Bryson? Oh, boy. Oh, Kelly went wide. Bryson went wide. And Shane goes through. Oh, man, there's so much passing going on track. Oh, Shane's going to go a little bit wide. That is not going to compromise his exit. He is going to maintain 10th place in front of Bryson Liu. There's a whole bunch of cars that are stacking up right now. You can see Kelly in the background flashing his lights. Love to see a good light blink out of frustration, doing anything that he can to try to distract Mike in that Kraken liveried Porsche 992.2 911 GT3R. This is such Such exciting stuff. Oh, I love seeing this. 34 minutes left in the 45-minute main event, and there is still so much to be decided. At this point in the race, you have no idea what's going to happen, but at some point, they're going to have to start making pit stops. So there is a mandatory pit stop in every main event, and they have a choice whether they take a slightly longer pit stop and put 4 brand new tires on their car, or they could shave a little bit of time off in pit lane and only put 2 tires on. So we'll see as people start to pit. I don't think anyone's going to pit quite yet, but we start to see a split strategy happen when people start pitting. And that you can run a great race, but if you get a little bit wrong in the pit strategy, you can lose out on a spot or 2 or 3. So when we start seeing drivers come in for their pit stops, we will have to keep a look on their lap times and their gaps to the drivers around them and see if the undercut or the overcut is going to be more effective in this race at Laguna Seca. Shane is all over, or Bryson's all over Shane. Bryson would love to get around him, but Shane's not going to make it easy on him. No way. There's no free lunch in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. Anytime you want to make a pass, you're going to have to work for it. Or, you can get lucky every once in a while and a driver makes a mistake in front of you. But for the most part, oh, wow. Okay, Spencer. Not sure what happened there. Spencer took a hard left. All right, let's go back to Spencer in the Taco Bell liveried Porsche, and he drops his rear wheel on the dirt just enough to hook that car over, and right now he's just a passenger. Not much you can do other than slam into the wall and thank the lucky stars that there's no damage in Season 7. In seasons past, that would have been a major, major issue. Spencer would have had to go into pit lane. He would have had to wait maybe 45 seconds for repairs to happen. Would have absolutely destroyed his race, but no longer. And that's the reason why they turned the damage off. It's so that you can still have competitive racing even if you have a racing incident. Andrew Malin on board. We're following him right now. He's having a quiet race. He generally, he's a very smart driver. He's very quick, but he's someone that always seems to find, well, Michael Shumway, to be completely honest. He and Michael Shumway have had a huge amount of very exciting battles throughout the seasons. Right now, he's in P8. Michael Shumway's all the way up in the lead, so we won't be treated to a Shumway and Malin battle quite yet, but we are getting treated right now to a Shane and Bryson battle. This is good, good stuff. Bryson in the Riot Motorsports livery, and Shane in the AO Racing livery. And this car, by the way, the AO Racing livery just won its class at this racetrack last week in the IMSA race that just happened. So, maybe Shane's hoping for some good juju, some good luck to head his way, just like the car had in real life. But he's going to have to work hard to keep Bryson behind him. And John Wilson up in P6, stalking Bruce, has the fastest lap of the race. And he has been on it the entire race. He stayed out of trouble, but he's been climbing through the field systematically, and that is what we are going to continue to see. He's not going to push anything. He's not going to take any bigger risks than he needs to. He knows that he has the pace to be a little bit patient, and we're only a third of the way through the race. He has made his way through 2/3 of the field. So he knows if he drives a clean race and does what he does, which is put in quick laps, that he is going to be in a very good position when the closing minutes of this race start ticking down. Paulo and Michael battling right now. Paulo? Wait, is Paulo? No, Paulo's not a lap down. That was for the lead right there. That was amazing. Oh, what a good battle. Paulo has been charging through the field quietly. We haven't given enough time on camera right now because, there hasn't been a ton of drama with Paulo. He's just quietly crept his way up the field. That is massive. Well done, Paulo, in that Ferrari 296 GT3 car. I think he's the only Ferrari in the field tonight. Looking down, yes, he is. There's one Ferrari, and there's one BMW, and there's one Paulo who is in P1. So, well done. We'll see if he's able to pull a gap on Michael Shumway. Michael Shumway and Jack Liston are about 1.2 seconds separated from one another. So, that reverse grid is starting to work itself out. And Andrew Malin just gets past Bruce right there. Well done, Andrew. Bruce, I love your livery. The student driver, Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. It's a great look. I even love the bloodstain accents along it. It's just really fun, really playful. And that's what motorsports is about, right? Like, you don't want to take yourself too seriously in motorsports because at the end of the day, it's about having fun. There's a bunch of people going around in a circle in a really, really cool car. So, when you see the Rexy livery and you see the student driver livery and you see those, the more playful designs on these cars, it puts a smile on my face. I mean, I love it. Obviously, Riot Motorsports is very heavily represented here with the liveries. Michael Shumway is following. Whoop, Paulo's going to go a little bit wide right there. That is not going to affect his entry into turn 11. Is it going to affect his exit? No, it does not. He gets good pull heading out of turn 11. See just a little bit of flames spitting out of the Ferrari 296 exhaust. Such good stuff. And it's worth noting as well, there's a lot of Riot liveries on track because a lot of these people actually have cars similar to this in real life. Riot Motorsports is a real motorsports team. They're based out of the Utah Motorsports campus. And if you go there, if you ever go to an event where they have their cars displayed, you'll see cars that look very similar to this right there. So, it's just cool that Riot does something like this. Whoa, boy. All right, Bryson is all over Shane. Bryson is starting to get impatient. You can tell he wants to make his way around Shane, try to make whatever inroads he is. Michael Shumway has closed the gap to Paolo up front. And is he? Oh, Michael's going to run a little wide, going around 6. And he is all over Paolo. Heavy on the brakes here. And, right on the back. Such a fun camera angle. So you're not quite out to the right edge of the track because they want to make sure they get a good entrance through turn 9 and down into turn 10 and towards turn 11. Paolo does not feel the need to go defensive. He wants to make sure that he gets his best exit possible because turn 11 goes down the longest straightaway on the track, and that is one of the most important corners to get right. If you get it wrong, you are a sitting duck. Paolo and Michael both got that corner right, so Michael is going to have to find another way around Paolo, but he is stalking him. He is all over Paolo. Paolo uses every inch of track and then some, coming out of the exit of the Andretti hairpin towards turn number 3. Exiting turn 3 towards turn number 4. Michael's going to have a passing opportunity coming up towards turn number 5. And I don't know that he's not going to be close enough right now, so he's going to have to pick another time to do it. Jack in the background. Jack is stalking those two. He's going to enter this party in just a little bit. Jack has, I think, the second fastest time on track. He's got a 1:21.8 to John Wilson's 1:21.6. So there are only 2 drivers that have dropped into the 121s in this race, and one of them is behind Michael Shumway and closing fast with 26 minutes left in the third race of the 7th season of the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League at the iconic Laguna Seca Raceway. Jack Liston, super clean coming out of 10, hard on the brakes here. Make sure he gets every inch of apex and every inch of track out to get as good a run as he possibly can. Good exit of that turn from Michael Shumway. Man, really, really evenly matched right now. This is great stuff. I see that John is up into P5. And, Jack, are you going to be able to get it done? No. Yep, John coming down the straightaway towards the Andretti hairpin. He has Carter in front of him, and he is closing that gap. There's just barely 1 second separating John from Carter. But up front, there is just about 1 second also separating. Oh, no, there's 0.3 separating Jack from Michael Shumway and about 1 second from Shumway up to Paolo. So Paolo might get a little breathing room here if Michael decides that he needs to defend against Jack, or if he and Jack get into a side-by-side battle. That is going to slow both drivers down, and that is going to allow Paolo to build a little bit more of a gap. What a great drive from Paolo so far. Absolutely phenomenal. He's one of the R1 drivers. Everyone in the top, top 4. Yeah, everyone in the top 4 is an R1 driver. So, in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League, everybody is in the same equipment, but they're not necessarily all racing the same race because there are 3 different classes. There's R1 for the most experienced, quickest drivers that are most committed to racing in this league. There's R2, and then there's R3, which is either people that are still building up their pace or people that are just new to the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. So points are awarded how you finish on track. The top finisher gets 70 points. The P2 gets 65, so on and so forth, all the way down. But there is the championship within the championship. So you might have someone down in P8 who's battling as hard as they can for P9 if they're both battling for that R2 or R3 win. And there's a lot at stake. Drivers actually get relegated. So at the end of the season, the bottom R1 drivers can get surpassed and have an R2 driver get promoted and take their spot. So every single driver in a race car is inherently competitive. So this is a way to make sure they stay competitive all the way up and down the field. And there's valuable finishes, even if you're battling for a 12th or a 13th or a 9th. It doesn't make a difference. Someone up and down the field is racing for a win in their class. But John Wilson is racing for the overall win right now as he pulls into the pits. Okay, so John Wilson is going to be the first driver to pit for tires. There is a compulsory pit stop. He's made his first one at 22 minutes and 45 seconds left in the race. So he's going to go for the undercut. He feels that he is going to have the tire life and the fuel left at the end of the race. Looks like Shane is in the pits as, oh no, that's, I think, let's see. So John is taking his pit right now. And I said he was the first, but it looks like Andrew Malin and Bruce also made pit stops. So he's not the earliest one to make a pit stop, but he is absolutely in that front group. And this is where I was talking about earlier, where you start to see that strategy split. Spencer and Derek are also making their pit stops. So this is really interesting because at the end of the race, these drivers that are pitting now are going to have tires that have less life on them and less performance available. And they may potentially have to run into some fuel saving. Now, they will have a lower fuel load potentially, so they'll have less weight on the car. But again, their tires will be worn more. The other thing I was talking about is they have a choice whether to take 2 tires or 4. So are these early pit stops going to take 4 tires? Just saw Michael drop off right there. Is he out of the race or is he blinking? Oh, no, Michael's back. Okay, he's just blinking. Michael's having some connectivity issues. That is amazing because I didn't want to get robbed of the battle between Michael Shumway and Jack Liston on track because that is going to be a very, very exciting thing for me to watch. Michael has done an awesome job of staying in front of one of the fastest drivers in the league, Jack Liston. This is great stuff. I love watching racing. I love watching it at iconic racetracks, and I love watching good, respectful drivers. And these drivers are all very quick. But one thing that you will never see, or very rarely see, in a Riot Motorsports sim race is overly aggressive driving. Incidents happen. These guys are out there to win. They're going as hard as they can. But those egregious assaults that you see in some iRacing, you will not find in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. And I think part of that comes down to a lot of these people having real-life experience. And I think when you've driven these cars or something like these cars, you understand that crashing them can hurt you and can absolutely hurt your bank account. So there's a higher level of self-preservation that you're going to run into with people that have real-life racing experience and segue into iRacing. Who's this in the pits right now? Paolo is going to pit from the lead. That was a smart move. He was just coming up on lap traffic. He was just coming up on Derek. So instead of trying to pick his way around that lap traffic and slow him up and potentially allowing Michael or Jack to take his P1, he's pulling into the pits. When he comes out, hopefully he has some clean air in front of him and can just put in quali laps. So Michael Shumway is back into the lead, and he is getting hassled relentlessly by Jack. Jack is going to have to work hard to find his way around Michael. I would have to give a pace advantage to Jack Liston, but it's a legitimate toss-up when you think of deciding who has the advantage on racecraft. Michael is very, very crafty. He knows how to keep his nose clean. Oh, he keeps his nose clean there by just millimeters as Spencer loses it going out of turn 6. Tank slapper. Oh, hard left, hard right. And Michael makes an amazingly agile maneuver to not get collected in that. Michael Shumway, you have just saved your entire race by that little flick of the steering wheel right there. Oh, hair-raising moments with 19 minutes left in this race. Oh, we're just past the halfway point, and there's been so much action on track. And Michael's pulling in. Jack is going to follow him in, so Michael and Jack are going to stay on the same strategy. Jack is going to cover him off. Are they going for 2 wheels? Are they going for 4? If they split strategies there, then the one that goes for 2 wheels is going to win the race in pit lane. Ah, good stuff. Both of them coming into the pits. Jack stops first. Michael stops second. I don't know if... I saw someone waving a yellow flag. Do we have a caution? I thought I saw the corner worker waving a yellow flag, but we're still at full race pace. So Jack is out. Jack is out of the pits. Jack just leapfrogged Michael Shumway in pit lane to inherit what may be the lead. I know Paolo is out in front. What is the gap going to be to Paolo? That is going to be telling whether the undercut is more powerful. So Jack has about a 5-second gap to Paolo, and I believe it was only about a second when they went in. So right now, the undercut is more effective, but who's going to have more tires at the end of the race? That's a big question. Michael is out right now. Michael is just in front of John, and if there's anybody that you don't want to see in your rearview mirrors in this race or any race, it's John Wilson. And Michael Shumway is currently enjoying that view of John Wilson right behind him. Michael Shumway is in P3, Jack's in second, and Paolo is back in the lead. So this is shaping up to be a fairly exciting 4-way battle for the lead. Just about everyone has made their pit stops except for Logan. So it's just a straight-up fight. There's 16 minutes and 55 seconds left in this race. So as of right now, it's basically a sprint. Oh, John diving to the inside of 11. Oh, gives a little bit of a shoulder to Michael and makes his way through. Is Michael going to be able to answer back? Michael is right on the tailpipe of John. Look at this. John sets it up so well. Quick dive to the inside, asserts himself. Oh, yeah, definitely gives a little bit of a shoulder to Michael. I'm sure that'll be reviewed after the race, but he gets the job done and finds himself in P3 with the fastest lap and an incredibly crafty driver. Oh, is Michael going to try to answer? Thinks better of it. Oh, is he going to dive down the inside? No, he's not. Oh, good stuff from Michael and John. Oh, what a good battle. This is going to be a great battle. This is amazing. There's almost a sprint, just a little bit over a sprint distance left in this race. Everyone has made their pit stop. So right now, it is time to go. John Wilson looking back at Michael Shumway in the Riot Motorsport livery. Oh, this is good stuff. Is Michael going to be able to make a move on John? Is John going to be able to defend Michael? Is John going to be able to catch Jap Liston? And is Paolo going to be able to stay in front of everyone? Paolo has a 6.2 second lead. That is massive. So at this stage in the race, it looks like the undercut was effective. But, oh, Michael dropped. No, who's that? Jack dropped. Jack's back. Okay. Whew. Let's please not have any connectivity issues because I don't want to be robbed of an amazing battle at the end of this race that is shaping up right now with some of the most talented drivers in the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League going head-to-head. Replay right here. What do we have? Michael running wide. No? Yep. All right. We're back going. Oh, no! Oh, Michael gets around John. I wonder if John... That's a really odd place for John to be going slow. So what I would imagine happened is a slowdown. So in iRacing, if you go off track and the computer deems that you have gained an advantage by doing so, then you have to slow down to a specific delta. And I'm going to guess that's just what happened with John Wilson. So John had to let Michael through and undo all of the work that he just did by passing him the lap prior. And Paolo is now 5.8 seconds ahead of Jack Liston with lap traffic in between them. You can see Bruce, you can see Kelly. Those are drivers that are a lap down. And then you have Jack all the way in the back. So Paolo's in a really, really good spot right now. Bryson Liu is trying to make his way through on Carter. This has been a battle that's been going on back and forth throughout the race. You know, Bryson, again, one of the faster drivers in real life. I mean, he's the Super Trofeo champion and in sim racing as well. So, again, you know, you definitely don't want to see John Wilson in your rearview mirrors. You definitely don't want to see Bryson Liu either. He's a problem. He's a problem. If you're in front of him, he's going to cause problems for you, guaranteed. So Carter is going to have his hands full trying to defend, but Carter's wicked fast. Absolutely screams in his Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. You know, Carter, when he's on pace, I think he's as quick as anyone. Absolutely. So John is on pace right now, trying to make up ground back to Michael Shumway. He just put in last lap a 21.8, so he is screaming right now. His pace really hasn't dropped off. He's very, very quick, but John's also proving to be a very, very consistent driver. He doesn't make big mistakes. Even that slowdown that we just saw, that wasn't a big mistake. It was, you know, a minor track limit infraction, basically, is what it is. So, you know, John's very consistent, but also Michael Shumway is wicked consistent as well. So this is going to be a really, really fun battle between two incredibly talented drivers. This has been spectacular. So far, there's just under 13 minutes left in this 45 minutes race. And if you're just tuning in, you have missed an absolute doozy so far. It's been thrilling. It's been captivating. It has been everything that you want in a race. And John Wilson is trying to pass Michael Shumway for that bottom step of the podium. John Wilson, it's his second race of this season. He has the fastest lap so far with a 121.6. He put that time in a while back, and he's still putting in incredibly fast laps. Last lap was a 121.8. He's going to cross the stripe right now and see. Let's see how he did on this lap. He's going to get a little bit of a tow from Michael, and he is going to cross the line for a 122.1. So he is flirting with that 121 mark every single lap. Bryson Liu is trying to get around Carter, and Bryson is, I mean, that gap really kind of stabilizes. Bryson reels him in a little bit, and then Carter kind of pulls it back. So, you know, it's a testament to Carter's pace, absolutely, because when you're leading someone like Bryson, it's so easy to overdrive the car. You just need to extract everything out of it to stay in front of someone like Bryson, and that makes it so easy to overstep the limits. Just a little bit, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes, particularly certain corners, like coming up towards the braking zone for the corkscrew. That's one of the areas. Another one is right here, turn 6, where, you know, you have to get it right, and you have to be on the limit. And if you miss by just a touch, you pay for it dearly. Oh, and there's John and Michael taking opposite, different lines going through, what was that, turn 10? Yep, going into turn 10 from turn 9. John looks like he's found his way back to the exhaust pipes of Michael Shumway. Mike is going to go defensive through turn 11. I would too. Why wouldn't you? John is an absolute monster. Ooh, is Michael looking? Michael runs him to the wall. Oh, Michael, that was maybe a little bit naughty, but I love it. That is elbows out racing at its finest. And John says, you know what? Cool, run me into the wall. I'm going to run around the outside, try to get it done that way through the Andretti hairpin. Not going to be able to get it done, but is going to have the inside line. Oh, checks up just a little bit, knows that Michael is not messing around, but is going to get a good exit out of turn 3 into turn 4. They're going side by side again. Are they going to make it through? Yes, they both make it through. Oh, this is so good. This is spectacular. This is hard, respectful racing. Oh, no. Oh, Michael. Oh, they come together, and Michael goes around, ending a multi-turn battle. See what happens here. Michael tries to make the line as wide as possible for him. He's keeping it straight. He's keeping it straight. John turns in. Ooh, and John is able to continue. Michael just can't keep it straight. And that is going to, we'll get another view right here. Ooh, I'm going to let you guys decide in TV land whether John turned in on Michael Shumway or not. I am not going to pass judgment. That's not my job. My job is to just, enjoy this wonderful race that we're all being treated to. 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the race. Michael and John just had a multi-turn battle that was very exciting, resulting in Michael getting turned around. That promotes John to P3, unless they have something to say about it after the race. Oh, yep. John is giving that spot back. John is giving the spot back to Michael Shumway. And again, I'm not going to comment on whether John maybe turned into Michael a little bit. Not my place, but I will say that it was very polite of John to return that position to Michael Shumway. That is an incredible show of respect and self-officiating. People at this level, when you've been a little bit naughty. And, that's a great situation where John says, you know what, I will give you Michael runs into the wall again. That's twice. Oh, John learned from it. He's like, I'm just going to suck onto the wall, and I'm just going to live there. And John dives down the inside, tries to take the spot back from Michael. Is Michael going to switch back? No, he's not going to be able to do it. John gets a great exit out of the corner and makes his Porsche 992 as wide as possible. Oh, and he runs wide. Is Michael going to be able to take advantage of it? No, he's not. Ooh, John just got away with one right there. Oh, good stuff. This is such an exciting battle right now for the bottom step of the podium. Jack Liston is, he's about 2 seconds back from Paolo, so that lead is starting to evaporate. But there's still a lot of work left for Jack Liston if he wants to try to win this race with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left. And we're watching right now Paolo in the lead as he starts to dice his way through lap traffic. He's going to have to make his way around Spencer. Caught Spencer at a great time. If Spencer lets him through, then that is going to be just about as good as you can do it. No, Spencer's not. Spencer's just running his line right now. He got a good exit. Not slowing Paulo down here, but there he is. Okay, so Spencer's going to go around the outside, allowing Paolo through. Is he going to be able to allow Bryson? No, he's not. Or not Bryson, Jack, I'm sorry. So there is lap traffic in between Paolo and Jack Liston. Paolo is in the lead. Paolo is 2.2 seconds behind Jack Liston. Bryson Liu is another driver who has been trying desperately to climb his way up this field, trying to make his way around Carter. Carter, when he is on it, is one of the fastest drivers on track. Carter is in the Lamborghini Huracan Evo GT3 car with Bryson in the Porsche 911 992. So you start to see here minor performance differences, and it's that difference at a specific part of the track. If you can say, all right, you know what, this Porsche is exiting the corner a little bit better in this section, this is where I need to make my move. So Bryson has had a lot of time to study what Carter is doing and where he might be able to make a move. And Carter, I love that livery, by the way. Dad Racing, have to mention that. Dad Racing, check him out on Instagram. Check him out on YouTube. They're doing some very, very cool content. Andrew Malin as well is involved in that project. A few people involved in that project. It is awesome, awesome, awesome. You have to check it out, but not right now. Check it out after this, because there's 7 minutes left in the race, and there are some very, very tight battles happening up and down the field. Ollie is currently in P13. Ollie in the M4. Ollie's such a great guy. Traditionally drives we've seen him in a Ferrari, in an Alpine liveried Ferrari in the past, and he's switched over to the BMW M4. Curious why he did that. I don't know if he felt like it was just a higher performing car, or maybe it just suited his driving style better. But he is in a BMW for this race. The only BMW in the field, and Bryson is all over Carter right now. Bryson just kisses the dirt. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bryson loses it. Oh, tough break for Bryson. You can see at the entry to the corner, kisses the dirt, starts to slide on him. Great car control, but not the way you want to get around a corner. Looks fancy. well done for the drift session, Bryson. Great display of car control, but obviously not the ideal. Are we on board with Bryson right now? Oh, no. We're on board with Andrew Malin, who makes his way through on Bryson. Andrew is going to get promoted up into P6. So Bryson is going to have a very tall order to try to make his way up into P6 or higher with 6 minutes left in the third race of the 7th season of the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. You're watching this here at Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca, one of my favorite racetracks of all time, one of the most iconic racetracks of all time. Everything's raced here, I think, except for Formula One, basically. It is an absolutely spectacular racetrack. They've also recently redone a lot of the surfaces. So, we'll see. I don't know if iRacing is planning on updating that, maybe in a year, whenever they do another scan of the racetracks. I have no idea how that works. But I do know that Jack Liston is now only 1.2 seconds behind Paolo. Paolo is getting caught up in lap traffic. Okay, so Ollie is a back marker. Paolo is struggling to get around him. Oh, Paolo's... Okay, so Ollie's going to pull over here. That's going to let Paolo through. Is he going to be as courteous to Jack? So that absolutely, without question, benefited Jack Liston. Just a couple of corners from Paolo behind Ollie. And Ollie's quick, but just not on the pace of Paolo tonight. So that slowed Paolo down just enough to bring Jack within 1 second. And Jack is going to get a little bit of an advantage of an aerodynamic toe. This is not a great place to catch a back marker, but Ollie is going to move over to the far right and let Jack through, freeing him up to try to close down the remaining 0.8 of a second that separate Jack from P1. Jack runs wide there, is able to keep it on track. Is he going to be able to get a good exit coming out of turn 11? There's 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in this race. There are only a couple of more laps that Jack is going to have to try to close that gap. But once you catch him, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to get around him. Paolo is incredibly fast, and Paolo is capable of defending incredibly well. So Jack, half a second behind Paolo. Once he catches him, he's still going to have to get around him. And in the closing stages of the race, you don't have endless amounts of time. You might have one or two opportunities present itself, and if you don't take them and you don't make the most of them, you are not going to be on the top step, Jack Liston. So what is he going to be able to do? And here is... Wait, Bryson got back around Miller. So Bryson was... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bryson was behind Carter. So Carter and Miller have nearly identical liveries and identical cars. So I saw Bryson in front of that car and thought that Bryson had climbed his way back up, but that is not the case. He is being hassled by Miller right now, just like Jack is hassling Paolo. He has officially caught Paolo. He's in the slipstream. He is there. So where is he going to be able to make the move? Paolo does not go defensive this lap. We're probably going to get maybe another 2 or 3 laps at most. So Jack is turning the wipers on, making sure that he clears the windscreen from any dust or sunshine that might be on it. And Paolo, hard on the brakes going into turn 1. No defensive moves yet from him, and no dives yet from Jack. This is great stuff. This is exactly what you want to see. And this is what you get basically every time you watch a Riot Motorsports sim race. You know there's going to be battles up and down the field from green to checkered. And here we are with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. And we have Bryson and Miller battling it out. We have Paolo and Jack battling it out. You know, I'm looking down. Let's see, where's John Wilson? John and Michael are separated by... let's see. A decent amount right there. I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know. That's 5 seconds that John is going to have to... that Michael's going to... Oh! Dive down the inside! Oh, no! Oh, Paolo runs wide. Is he going to get a slowdown? Is he going to get a slowdown? So Paolo and Jack just battled it out, going through the corkscrew. And Paolo went off track. So if he gets a slowdown, he's going to have to concede time to Jack. And it looks like that might be what's happening. So Jack is now in the driver's seat. He just took the lead with 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League race at Laguna Seca. So Jack is sitting pretty right now. Job done, Jack. I mean, you think about the sprint race, and John Wilson looked like he was in absolute control. He looked like a man who could not be beat. And now we're in the closing stages of the main race, and it's Jack Liston who managed to slice his way through the entire field and finds himself in P1 in the closing stages of this race. He's already pulled a 1.5 second gap on Paolo. And let's see now. John is within striking distance of Paolo, maybe, if he puts in an absolute screamer. We're watching Andrew Malin right now. Andrew Malin is getting hassled by Bryson Liu. Andrew's had a quiet race. You know, it's been a quiet race for Andrew. He's up in P6. That's a good showing. Andrew's absolutely, without question, capable of podium finishes, as is Bryson, as is Carter in front of him. But when you have the reverse grid, it mixes everything up. And it's not just your pace. It's how quickly can you get through traffic? How lucky are you to just get, you know, catch lap traffic or back markers or just people slower than you, at the right part of the track. It's almost like multi-class racing that you would find in IMSA, where you have different cars, where you have an LMP2 car, an LMP2 car getting around a GTD car. We just had the white flag, so one lap left to go. Jack Liston has 2.6 seconds of margin to Paolo. And, is that Andrew? No, that's Michael. Michael and, what is going on right now? Oh, Michael lets Carter through. Is he going to let Andrew through as well? That's got to be a slowdown. Oh, slowdowns are the theme of this race. And, oh, my God. The universe has provided, yet again, another battle between Michael Shumway and Andrew Malin in the final lap of the race. Oh, it didn't look like it was going to happen when Michael was in the lead and Andrew Malin was all the way down in 8th. And now Michael comes together with John Wilson. That puts him further back in the pack. And then he gets a slowdown. And the universe tells us that he and Andrew Malin need to be next to each other, battling it out again in the Riot Motorsports Sim Racing League. Michael is all over Carter. Is he going to be able to make... huge stab up the inside. Oh, he gets it done. What a move. What a move that Michael just put on Carter. The last lap of the race. Just a couple of corners left to go. Is Carter going to answer back? Is Andrew Malin going to be able to make a move on Carter? All three of them dive down towards turn 10. They're going to have one heavy braking zone and then one drag race to the finish line. Carter switches him back. Carter's going to switch back. Michael's going to drag race. He's going to try to block Carter off. He is not going to be able to get around. No, Carter just misses out on P3. What an amazing end to the race. Absolutely spectacular. Oh, Jack Liston comes across the line in P1, and Jack Liston also takes the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. So when it came time for the race to show and prove, Jack gets it done. And Spencer and Ollie right now are battling at the back of the field for P13 and P14. This is good stuff. Oh, computer just froze. Oh, I can't see anything. What's happening? Oh, I can hear it, but I can't see it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we are robbed of the battle for P13 and P14, but we retreated to the battle between Michael and Carter in that last lap. So Jack Liston takes victory at Laguna Seca and fastest lap. Paolo P2, Michael P3. Excellent job for him finding his way onto the podium after coming in dead last in the sprint. Carter P4, John P5, Andrew in 6th, Bryson in 7th, Miller in 8th, Shane in 9th, Mike in 10th, George in 11th, Derek in 13th, Derek in 12th, Ollie in 13th, Spencer in 14th, Bruce in 15th, Logan in 16th, and Kelly rounding out the field. The R1 class winner, Jack Liston. R2 class winner, John Wilson, who is an absolute screamer. He's an R1 level driver, absolutely without question. And the R3 winner in this race is Miller. Job well done, Miller. Job well done to everybody. And thank you all so much for watching the third race of the 7th season of the Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. Tune in next week where we are racing at Road America.
Welcome to Riot Motorsport Sim Racing League. We are located at the Utah Motorsport campus, offering a full range of services for race car enthusiasts, including storage, maintenance, and driver coaching. Our focus is on fostering an inclusive and supportive racing community. Sim racing is a great way for our drivers to continue to practice during the on and off season. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the race.